Live from the Washington, D.C. area, it's the Inside Scoop, EmeraldPlanet. All the ecology news that our viewers want to know. Now, here's your host, Executive Director of the EmeraldPlanet, Dr. Sam Lee Hancock.
Hello and welcome back to the EmeraldPlanet as we come to you from Washington, D.C. And we're talking about the country of China, the second largest economy on the globe, and at the same time it now is the dubious distinction of being the largest emitter of CO2 gases. But we also know that through the conversations we're having on the EmeraldPlanet and the series that we're doing on China and energy efficiency, energy conservation, and power usage, is that there are huge changes that are going on within China itself. It is one of the largest manufacturers now as far as wind turbines, solar panels, low-flow hydro units, and many other ways of producing energy. And also it's trying to produce more energy within its own borders, so it's not being put in the situation of actually losing some of the imported energy that it needs, and at the same time to be able to maintain the growth of employment and the investments going on within society. I have Dr. Ping He, who is the president of the International Fund for China's Environment, and Dr. Zhang, who is the energy economist, infrastructure unit of East Asia and the Pacific region. It's a very long title you have there at the World Bank, and not such a long title, and very important. But I want to bring up this first slide because we're actually going to be talking about what happened recently as far as the solar decathlon. And China is really making giant strides as far as energy efficiency for its housing sector with 1.3 billion citizens. That's a lot of energy is being used. And I had the honor of meeting Dr. Hongwei, who is the Vice Executive Director, the Research Center on Green Building and New Energy at Tongji University. That's down near Shanghai, the second largest city in the country. And they had what called Team China, and what you're looking at is the Y container here. This is a photograph taken by the United States Department of Energy that hosted the solar decathlon. And so this is a look of those that came over and were involved in this. And Dr. He, looking at what's going on at Tongji University, I know that you work with many universities around China and also in the United States. What do you think is the movement towards energy efficiency for the family in China through like the solar decathlon?
China has a traditional energy saving, for the family living, and in my child time, and we save all this, toothpaste and all this, recycle all this, small iron, steel stuff, and so just in last 10 to 30 years, and people kind of forgot these kind of excellent traditions. We used to, joking about in 70s, U.S. sent a delegation to learn how China recycle and learn, China kind of reuse, materials. But in 90s, then China sent delegation to U.S. learn how to recycle, how to do this kind of, activities.
What was old become new all over again?
Right.
Yeah,
so,
that's our tradition, that being thrift is good virtue. But then when people getting rich, think, okay, the way to show rich is, okay, we spend more. But now I think that the low carbon lifestyle is a new fashion.
Yeah.
And we try to promote.
Yeah, I know this is something that Dr. He and I were talking about earlier as far as electric cars and electric buses and all that. And actually now many people are going back to bicycles.
Right.
And you think it was not hardly 15, 20 years ago, people were riding bicycles all over the place, and then they moved into cars. Now they're saying, geez, there's too many cars, let's get back to the bicycle.
Right. Beijing recently set a kind of special bicycle lane and for bicycle rider. Also they have, a rental, can buy rental bicycles on streets, and put some coins in there. So that's kind of reverse the trend, as I mentioned. Before, like 5 years ago, is people everyone were talking about a car, what kind of car you have. Now people, want to go back and more ride a bicycle because Beijing just too crowded. Traffic is in Germany is bigger.
So bicycle is actually faster than car.
I was going to say, many times I was there, right. And of course, when I was over there for the Olympics, I've been back a time since. And your modern subway system in Beijing, of course, Shanghai has one, and the other cities as well. And it's just you just really zip around the city in those, come up. It's good for exercise. So it seems like China now is almost like, along with the United States and other countries, is that you're putting in physical exercise, energy conservation, energy efficiency, along with a very modern lifestyle that you've developed in China. And it's happened very quickly. So looking at your family, Dr. Zhang, I know you're environmental analyst and working with the World Bank, but still you have your own young family that's developing. What are some of the things that you're thinking about as far as what your children are going to be faced over the next 15, 20 years?
Yeah, so I want to tell a story actually that so my parents who are living in China now, but they visited us a few months ago, and I have a 3-year-old at home, and so my mom told that you need to conserve energy, conserve water, and to be a guard for our planet. So actually my daughter will say, my grandma told me that, when you wash your hand, just a little bit of stream when you apply soap, and then a little bit more water when you actually rinse it. So I'm so happy that I think it's very important that from the kids, they need to learn and to have this conscious, we have only one planet, and we need to do everything we can to save our planet.
Well, I think that's, Dr. Zhang, that's really true, and I know that Dr. He has been at this for a long time with his nonprofit, going back to 1996, and of course mine goes back to 1973. So
you're a veteran.
And that's really the first year that we had any kind of contact with China was in 1973 through the Austria-China Society. Mm-hmm. And of course that's when China was just getting ready to modernize and move forward really towards the 21st century. And so now there's really this emphasis that we talked about the last 5 years, going back and try to have an emphasis on energy efficiency and energy conservation. But looking at families in China, and you're moving around, of course, you have families still living mm-hmm. there. How are they looking at energy conservation, energy efficiency vis-a-vis the world, just like Dr. Zhang was sharing with us about her daughter and her mother working together on that?
People, right now, most young people, are not that to the, energy efficiency and the energy saving, but the older people, older generation, more on that. And another thing I'd like to point out that China, about 20% of China family use solar heating water for water heating.
That's something I found amazing when you look at the photographs of all these new high-rise apartment complexes or condominiums, as we call them.
Right.
I mean, there's just solar panels everywhere.
Right. So that's China's highest rate of solar water heating rate in the world, more than like 70% of capacity is installed in China. So that saves a lot of energies and also much cleaner than burning the coal. Another one, the families right now, the NGOs are pick up, for educating the young people and in the colleges, like we been working with dozen ecology campus to train them to match the energy flow in the campus, and then figure out which buildings take more, which buildings spend more energy than other buildings, then make a recommendation to the campus authority to improve energy efficiencies.
Well, we've been using Tongji, the Y container, the entry they had as far as the solar decathlon, and in talking with Dr. Tan, he says that they're making their whole campus now, and I guess they have a branch campus. They want to be 100% energy independent if possible, so generate their own energy both from wind and solar. And they said now that they're reaching out to and providing consulting services to 125 other Chinese universities to be able to do the same thing. So Dr. Zhang, looking at the investment the World Bank has made, because it's been over $8 billion has been going into this effort in China, is there a move now to look at to expand this efficiency and expand the investments in energy efficiency and conservation?
Yeah, definitely. And so just now you mentioned the building, right? So we also have a building energy efficiency investment. And we work with the government to help with their policies. Because in North area that for heating the biggest energy consumption part.
And that's just because of the geographical location of China
exactly.
and its position
and traditional policies that are based on the area, not based on the actual energy consumption.
Mm-hmm.
And now we are helping them to pilot, consumption-based billing. Because billing is really incentive for the users. How much I pay for how much I use, instead of, I just pay flat fee. So I put very high temperature in the winter and waste a lot of energy.
Also, the policies then are changing so that people actually will be paying for their usage instead of just a flat rate, which was used traditionally. Looking at, going back to 1996 and some of the changes that you've seen, Dr. Hay, over these number of years now, what are you seeing as far as the trends through your NGO and the other NGOs that you're working with to really push forward and to help mold the energy conservation, energy efficiency in China?
I see public awareness is significantly higher than 90s. And the first one is you mentioned the cost. Right now the cost of burning coal and the oil is much higher than before. So people see the bill increase, and then they have awareness of the reduced energy cost. That's the economical reason. Second reason is environmental qualities, because the people like in Beijing, Shanghai, a lot of cities, they have better incomes, and then they also have high requirement for environmental qualities, for air quality, water qualities. So through use less oil, less coal, and also can improve environmental qualities. The second reason. The third reason is climate change. Climate change is now, according to statistics, more than 90% of people realize that climate change is a big concern. Probably in the U.S. it's much lower than that. Number is much lower than that. But Chinese people realize that climate change is one of the big concerns for the whole planet Earth.
Right.
So they know now that China mainly is reliant on coal and emit a lot of CO2. So reduce energy, improve energy efficiency also can help reduce the climate changes. So that's several reasons together, and public awareness, public policies. I think right now the Chinese have pretty much from both the government and the public have a consensus to improve energy efficiency, improve the energy environmental quality, also reduce the carbon emissions.
Well, thank you both for being with us, and we'd like to thank Tongji University for letting us use their slides as we create Emerald